Hello to all, this is your program Get Out of Depression. You are there suffering, your life is dry, you see no way out. Everything that you try to do, it just don't work. You have depression, you have anxiety, you are suffering for many years. You've knocked many doors and no doors have been opened to you. There is a way out, there is a solution. Your life can be transformed. What you need to do is put your faith in practice. Watch this program. Pay very close attention to everything we're going to say. Pay very close attention to every testimony we're going to show to you. Real life stories. People who suffered with problems like yours, worse than yours, similar than yours, and they overcame. Today, they thirst no more. Today, they have joy of living. They have joy in life. You want that joy? You want this thirst of yours, this search. Maybe it seems to be an endless search for joy, for happiness, for a peace. Maybe what that you ask is one night of peace to sleep, because you haven't been able to sleep for many years, months, days. It doesn't matter how long you are suffering. God has the solution for you. Stay tuned with us, and I'll be back straight after these life stories of people whose life is being transformed, people whose thirst is being quenched, and I'll be back straight after.
Well, I just used to look in the mirror and I was just down, I really didn't like what I saw. I couldn't smile, honestly speaking. I just used to look there and wanted to cry, really. It was a really horrible moment for me, waking up in the morning and just having to look at myself and think, that's who I am, really. I couldn't accept myself for who I was. I used to walk with my head down all the time, and a lot of people mentioned it to me actually, how down I looked, literally just looking at the floor all the time, because I couldn't look at people. I always thought that they were thinking what I was thinking and that they were judging me, and that they thought exactly as I was thinking, and the way I saw myself, I thought that that's exactly how they saw me, in such a negative light. I was invited to the church first, and obviously when I came here, for a good few years I was very closed up, so I didn't want to speak to anybody, to be honest, because I always thought, I thought people were still judging me and thought, that they would think, what is wrong with this girl, what is her problem, I don't understand. But as time went on, I started to open up, I started to talk more about what was going on inside. I started to dig a bit deeper, and tell people, what the problems were. And that really helped me overcome, my low self-esteem. It helped me develop my confidence levels. It really helped me, I was able to put my head high. I took part in a Purpose of Faith, and it really helped me overcome, this issue that I was dealing with, because I was able to pour everything out. Everything that had been buried inside, I was able to let go of. And at the end of it, I just felt so relieved, it was just joy and peace after, because when you have things inside of you and you feel like you can't talk to anybody, or you feel like you can't open up about it, and you finally do, it's amazing, honestly. So today, I'm confident, I love who I see in the mirror, and I'm just loving me.
One thing that I had to learn is that the Holy Spirit doesn't come just for us to be happy, just for us to have Him inside of us. We receive the Holy Spirit so that we can go out there and help others like we were helped. The month after I joined the church, the 21 days started, and I didn't really understand what it was. But I was told that the Holy Spirit is something like nice, you belong to God, things like that. That's what I heard. But for me, in the beginning, I was more focused on being like not having the internet, not having the music, not watching TV, and just focusing on God, because I was in the church for such a short period of time. I was like, oh my God, I have to take all of this from my life. What am I gonna do? I have nothing else to do, because I watch TV, I go on the internet, I listen to music. So in a way that really helped me to distance myself from the world, from the things that I was doing before, and just focus and get to know God. It's not, I'm only gonna take part of the 21 days because I'm going through problems. It's not, but it's in that moment because I never went through so many things at once. It's not like problems around me, but battles that I had to face inside of me with my plans for the future, things that I had to go against my will for, like never before. When I had nothing else that I could do, I would go down on my knees and I'll say, my God, help me. Because while I was going through all those difficulties, I was depending on God. I was really meditating on His word and things like that. And it really made me to have like a whole different relationship with God. Like I can say I wasn't the same from when I started the 21 days and after. It's not a feeling, it's not, oh, I feel good, I feel amazing. It's through the problems and the way that you react to them that you really see like whether you are in the faith, wherever. And that's why I came out of those 21 days much more matured spiritually. The base of the Holy Spirit, what I have for myself is the assurance that God gave me. That's it.
Well, we are back with your program, Get Out of Depression. You saw these wonderful life stories, these testimonies, people's lives that were transformed by the power of faith. And you maybe heard me saying in the beginning of the program, in the first part, about this thirst. And you may say, what is this thirst? How can I see this in my life? It is resumed or it's explained by the anguish of your soul. Your soul is in anguish. You may say, I have this, I have that, I've conquered, I have achieved, but yet nothing finishes with this anguish of my soul. Nothing put an end on this depression. This anxiety persists inside of me. I've tried, I've done many things, I've gone through many places, but nothing takes away this anguish of my soul. That's what I'm talking about. You know, King David went through exactly the same. He faced that in a certain moment in his life, where his soul was in a deep anguish, in a thirst. So let's read together. I'm going to place here this verse for you in Psalms. Let's read together. Psalm 63 verse 1 says, O God, you are my God. Early I will seek you. My soul thirsts for you. My flesh longs for you in a dry and thirsty land where there is no water. Well, you just read this with me, and maybe that explain exactly how you are. And then you watch these testimonies, and you were there addicted, you have an addiction to drugs, you are addicted to drink, you are addicted to legal drugs or illegal drugs. You were there depressed, taking tablets, antidepressives. You were there anxious. You have panic attacks. You think you're going crazy. Everything in your life, it's a real mess. And then you say, how can I be helped? Well, this Friday, all over the world, where there is a UCKG, a universal church, we will be helping you. We will deliver you from this thirst, from this anguish. We're going to show you and help you to achieve this life that these people of the testimonies, they have achieved. Friday here in Stockholm, in our headquarters, we will be here at 10 a.m. in the morning, 7 p.m. in the evening, especially at 7 p.m. We will be here with our English service, 4 p.m. in Portuguese. And on Saturday, I will be there in Gothenburg, bringing to you the same that the people here will receive on Friday. I'll be there at 1 p.m. with the Portuguese English service, bringing to you the answer, the result. So whatever you are here in Sweden, you may say, but I live very far. I live in the north. I live, don't just use excuses, because where there is a solution is where you need to go. I know it may be very far, but I've seen people who travel abroad, people who go through another continent, they go to another continent to find the solution for their problems. And if I tell you, you coming here is going to be worth, believe me, your life is going to change. No matter how many problems you have or how big is your problem before your eyes, God will solve this situation. Let's watch more testimonies, and I'll be back straight after with you.
I didn't look for God. I was doing things on my own. That's when things started going wrong. My marriage started to suffer violence, abusive, physical violence, financial. We became very destitute, no money, no place to stay. We have young children in a foreign land, no family, and no one to tend to. I remember during one day we were fighting with my wife in this country. On the bus, I started beating her and no one saying anything. She bleed and people are just there looking. Then when we get out of the bus, we continue, we went home, then we came back. But after the storm, there's always that calm assurance voice saying that, Ignatius, you've been doing this for a long time. You've been taking life in your own hand for a long time. What do you have to lose? Can't you give me a chance? When we arrived in the help center of the UCKG, I was standing, and the man of God who was standing, speaking, giving the message from the altar, it's like he knew me from since I was 16. As we keep on coming, we've been, one word that's standing out is this: we believe in you. And God called you here for a reason. He has seen your suffering. Give it all to God. He's the master. He's your creator. He can make things happen. He can make the impossible to become possible. And for the first time in my life, tears start coming out of my eyes automatically. Then when we went home, although I was stuck up, I told my wife, you know what, darling? I think we find something that we've been looking for. There was one day we fought the whole night, and we fought physically. Then at that time, I have a simple job, just something to have a bread for the kids. I went to that rubbish job. When I came back, I realized that we had about 6 to 7 suitcases. I found that 2 little suitcases, they disappear. And the children are not in that block. I start calling around. My wife's nowhere to be found. Around 7:30, my daughter called me from Heathrow Airport. Dad. Then I said, Time, where are you? At the airport. Doing what at the airport? We are going home. What? Then I have to call the airport and report my wife to the security that there's a crazy woman running away with my kids. She have to be detained for several hours, waiting for me to go there and make a case. But at the same time, God was working. I did not make a case. I just stopped, let them go. Then around that time, when I realized that by this time they gone, I went to my knees and I cried. God, I don't know what to do. I mess up big time. My wife took half of the money and she left half of the money. Around that time, there was an idea saying that, you know, she dissed you, the word in London. She disrespected you so much. You know what you can do, Ignatius? Take that money, buy a ticket, go to Namibia the same day, buy a gun, kill her, and come back the next. That's the voice of the enemy. But there was another voice, calm, saying, I've been telling you, I've been speaking to you, I've been advising you. Why don't you try me? You have got nothing to lose. Then I took that voice, I listened to that voice, which is the voice of God. Then the next day, I called my wife. Normally when I call, we argue until she dropped the phone. That day, we never argue. I just asked, darling, when are you coming back? We make a vow to start together to fight against the invisible enemy, not to fight against ourselves as we used to do anymore. Life today for us is a blessing, and I can say it's a blessing that have root on the altar. My marriage is a blessing. My wife is my sister, is my wife, is my mom, my grandma, my everything. Our children are very blessed. They grow up in London, they are doing well. Some of them, one of them is on the altar, and I believe there are some more to come because I'm not stopping praying. In terms of financial, we are blessed. We are living a comfortable life. I can say confidently, the altar cannot fail you. If you want more, the altar will give you even more than you expected.
Today my life is, I find myself very confident. I find myself doing something positive in my life. My family is together. I can see my studies progressing. I aspire to be one day an investment banker working in the economic field. And I'm helping other people with the positivity and the life-changing messages that I've received. But it's not always been like that. From a young age, very early age in school, there was a point in time I got kicked out by my parents, out of the house. I was very easily influenced. One of the things that influenced me the most and really affected how I thought as a young person before I came was the addiction to pornography. Pornography is not normally seen as something bad, not normally seen as a big issue in society today. But when you take in the consequences and the effect it has on young men like it did to me, it really changes the way you see women. And one day when you do decide to go and settle down and actually have a proper family, it will affect your relationship with your spouse. For me, what triggered the change in my life was just thinking about the small I had and the great things that God promised. And coming to the church, coming to the meetings consecutively, faithfully, I really learned that with my faith, I could unlock all the potential inside of me and open up new doors for me to excel in all areas of my life. So not just in my relationship with God, which is the most important, of course, but my studies have improved so much because I've cleared out all the rubbish in my head. The negative influences of friends don't affect me. I'm a cool guy, I go to college, I have friends that aren't in the church, but obviously I don't let them influence me, but otherwise I'm that positive influence. I'm different and have a positive vibe that affects them, has an effect on them. Whoever's watching that wants to make a positive change in their lives, that wants to have a positive impact on other people, is that don't look at what you're going to lose in the short run, look at what you're going to gain in the long run. In the short run, it may look like it's a lot of work to do, there's a lot of work to be put in, and you're going to have to let go of the sort of enjoyment that the negative people, negative influences around you are offering. But in the long run, through the sacrifice and the hard work, you putting effort into having a relationship with God and pushing for that life change will just be evident and be worth all the fight and worth all the work.
Well, for you who says, how can my life be in the way of these people? How can I get a result like they did? Maybe your problem, it's a pain, it's an insomnia. Maybe you have many things sorted in your life, but there is this problem that persists and make your soul anguished. Well, come this Friday, come determined, we will help you. We will remove from you what is blocking your life, what is impeding you to have peace, what is taking away all your dreams, all your hope, all your life. We're going to help you with that. Friday now, 7 p.m. especially here in Stockholm, also 10 a.m. in English. 4 p.m. Portuguese. And Saturday in Gothenburg, you have our address here at 1 p.m. I'll be there to help you. Well, we are getting to the end of this program, and I tell you, do not complain anymore. Do not say, nobody helps me. Because if you're watching this message, if you're listening to me, help is being offered. Help is at hand. The way out is there for you. It's time to stop suffering. It's time to take an action. Forget religion. Forget what culture says. Come for your answer. Come for your result. May God bless all of you. Have a wonderful night, and bye-bye.
Depression is now regarded by the World Health Organization to be one of the fastest growing diseases in the world and deemed a public health priority. The prevalence of depression in Nordic countries is believed to vary between 3.5 and 5%. 5% of the Swedish population is affected by depression. In 2010, approximately 8.1% of the Swedish population purchased an antidepressant drug. Come and visit us at the UCKG Help Centre, Stockholm, Sunday, 11 a.m. Depression. You can beat it.